preocuparte.
Explosion blew the whole toxic goo pump station apart. It's letting floodwaters out. We gotta get out of here. It's not safe. Get through the control centers. There's a transition seal leading up to where I am. Hurry, before this whole place floods or comes down. The place is exploding. Rocks are falling everywhere, and you're taking the elevator? What if the power went out? You'd be trapped! Get out of there. The room's filling with smoke. Good. At least you won't suffocate in this room. But you still need... Whoa! Don't do that. You won't bring the place down on your head? I can't believe that worked. Oh, right. Get going before something else happens. Wow. If you'd been there a few seconds earlier, you'd have been incinerated. Thank the maker you weren't, though. I need the muscle. Okay, bad news! When the pump station blew, the floodgates opened up wide. Toxic goose rising fast, the sensors maxed out ages ago, warning lights going crazy all around. This just got a lot more serious. Alright, you're at Quality Control Center 95D. Only a bit further and you'll be at the hatch up to me. Hurry. I'll try to slow the goo down a bit. Great! Another blocked corridor! So, Mel, why don't you take your time? Look around here. I'll try to slow the rising goo down a little bit harder, I guess. Just don't take all day. The doors are locked? Back in the day, the wiring was a bit strange sometimes. Try turning some machinery on, see if that also unlocks the doors. Wow, that actually worked. I mean, great! Well, that's just great. Can't we get through a room once without stuff blowing up or blocking our way? Try to find some water again or something. Great. From there's just the vault. Don't get comfy though. I pulled the plug on some emergency run-up dams, but the goo is still rising. Wow! This place is massive! Whoever built this place must be a great architect. Up high, at the back side of this room, is a control panel. It controls the hatch. Try to get there. My records show that at least 2 people were needed to activate the vault hatch. You're one person. There's a bit of a problem there. I'm sure you can figure something out. Great! You're smarter than I thought. Not a genius like me, but still. Take the elevator up to me. I'm in the junkyard just outside the hatch. It's finally time for me to repay my end of the deal. Center from here. We'll meet up shortly. And good news, we're not going to have to worry about the goo eating us alive. I'll seal up the hatch and we don't have to worry about that anymore. That's definitely a plus. Oh, great, you're here! I can finally get out of this technological nightmare! If you can get into the offices, I'm saved. You just might have to get around a few security fences though, trying to keep the giant human-eating rats out. The floor's getting quite cold here. Hey! Over here! I'm right over here! Hey, Mel. Nice to finally see you. It's kind of dark here, though. You should turn the power on so we can get the lights working. There's more offices on the other side of the double doors. Check there. Turn the power on first, then pick me up. Lights, check. Camera, Check. Action. Hopefully not.
Detecting power surge at sub-basement station 26. Threat level moderate. Activating security protocols.
So much. Good. That floor was getting very cold. My motherboard was almost going critical. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Mr. Virgil Core Guy, how were you able to control everything and see everything in the old testing facility? Well, one simple answer. Wi-Fi. I'm fully Wi-Fi capable. Anyway, take me over to the elevator control room. There's a management rail I can use to get back up to the enrichment center. Oh, and I can also get an elevator for you. Ah, much better. Good to be back on track again. Let me go back here and get your elevator so we can get out of here. Yes! This should help. That wasn't me, I think.
Detecting security override at sub-basement 26. Generator override command initiated.
Override generator override command.
Error. Scanning for life forms. Unregistered life forms detected in facility. Commencing termination program. 3 targets acquired. 1 organic, 2 mechanical.
Well, at least I can get you out of here now. We'll worry about that voice on the intercom later. I'll meet you upstairs.
Toxic contaminant level from testing track Lima Whiskey rising. Time to contact with enrichment center to be determined. Flooding procedure commencing.
The elevator wasn't going to my testing track, so I've rerouted the lift. Luckily for you, it's not too far away. These things can take forever sometimes. And there's no magazines to read. So annoying. Welcome to my testing track. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but it'll do. Let's see if I can just get this door open and get us out of here. Okay, sorry, I can't help you with this testing track. All Acture Science AIs have been programmed to not help with solving the test. I can, however, test to see if everything still works. It's been a while since I fell off that management rail and plummeted down into that pit, so maybe some stuff broke in my absence. Checking the funnel. Working. Fizzler. Changing over. And toxic goo drainage pipe. Eaten away by toxic corrosive goo. Oh, lovely. That's not important. You can do this test just fine. I hope. She couldn't even open a locked door. Oh, lovely. That's not important. You can do this test just fine. I hope. She couldn't even open a locked door. great. Just great. It seems you tipped off whatever that thing is to our presence. It has taken control of the testing track. Well, so much for that. I'll keep trying to take control back. In the meantime, keep going through the...
Hardline bridge control center activating. Hardline bridges coming online. Toxic contaminant level from testing track whiskey rising. Estimated time to contact with enrichment center 25 minutes.
I'm still working here. Seems like I've got to hack this thing. Come on, Wi-Fi, don't fail me now. I've got a good signal strength. broke into that thing, sir. I'll try and learn more about what's going on, but I'll keep you posted.
Threat level of unknown organic life form moderate. Continue tracking.
that thing is using some biological tracking to find out where you are. Get into the elevator to the next test. I'll need a little bit more time to get us removed from... I think we'll be in the clear for a little bit, but somehow I can't get access to the final target, or even learn what it is. Whatever it is, it's enough to cause this thing to blow up toxic goo pump control down in the salt mines.
Activating Aegis firewall.
I just tripped an alarm in that thing's mainframe. It completely locked me out. Firewall, huh? Firewall. That just gave me an idea. I'm going to reroute some of the water to the Aegis servers. That should shut the firewall down.
Target 1 organic, 1 mechanical, reacquired for termination. Security measures at 75%. Alert status red. Toxins from testing track Lima Whiskey. Contact with enrichment center, sub basement level 10. Flooding procedures commencing.
Mel, are you alright?
Alert. Water detected at server level. Server damage detected. Reduced processing power available.
The plan to flood the servers worked. I should be able to get you back into the testing track. Let me open these for you. Well, with those servers gone, I think he'll have a much harder time tracking our movements. I'm working on getting control of the elevators, so just hold on, get through this test, and I'll get you out of here. I got some control again. There's another lift transfer down below. Hold on. Activating the elevator. Now.
Elevator car 77. Testing track direction compromised. Alert status 100%. Rerouting remaining servers to biological tracking. Target lost.
Rerouting the elevator worked. That got its attention. Don't expect this to get any easier now.
Last time it took me so long, I was just doing this. Someone need my help.
Keep going. There's an easy test track up ahead. Maybe you can gain some ground on it. So, you can handle a lot of harder tests. This is a brand new introduction track designed for new test subjects. We should do this really quickly. I've got a plan. Mel, over here! Change of plans. I found a panel that I can move out of the way. Portal down to that catwalk in the distance. I'll tell you more there. So, I was thinking, if this computer has scanners searching for biological substances, maybe there can be some interference? You know, with things like plants. There's an overgrown testing track across the facility that hasn't been converted yet. If we can get there, I think we can confuse it. Alright, listen. I was able to hack into that system and run a basic diagnostic before I got booted. The computer is known as the Aperture Employee Guardian and Intrusion System, or AGIS for short. It looks to be a security mainframe trying to protect the scientists logged into its system. It hasn't been turned on in decades. Maybe that's why it's after us, and whatever that last threat is. Maybe it thinks we killed the scientists. Alright, I finally got access to some schematics of this place. I can guide you to that overgrown testing track now to cover our tracks. Head through the corridor to the left. Should take you through the work-in-progress test chambers. Why on earth is it always such a problem to get from point A to point B when you're outside of the testing tracks? That red laser on the wall seems to be controlling that door. You should probably find a way to block it. Great. Through there is a crappy backstop chamber GLaDOS was designing before her demise. Never finished, but it should at least be working. Dodged a bullet on that one. I told you to be careful. Next time might not be so forgiving. serious? You're going to use the elevator? No. What are you doing? It's going to kill you!
Target captured. Neutralizing.
Well, he's in for a nice surprise. There are tubes on the side you can use to get towards the overgrown testing rack. This next test chamber is still under construction. And generally, they need to be tested at least 3 times before they're finalized. Some people just can't count times before they're finalized. Some people just can't count further than that, I guess.
Subroutine controlled. Installing additional hazards.
Turrets, huh? Let's see what I can do. How about I fire up the lasers? Deep pit. How about a hard light bridge? It's only test difficulty this time? I'm sure you can handle it. Just make sure to dodge the bullets again. Looks like it doesn't know where the elevator is heading to. Up ahead are the overgrown parts of the facility. I can try to reroute the elevator again if it's... So, I was right. When a test subject destroyed her, this whole place fell into disrepair. I don't exactly know if everything is working properly anymore, but we don't have a choice.
Error. Tracking on target failed. Heavy organic interference.
Huh? It worked? It's blind here. Oh, no. No. There's some stuff here blocking the path for the elevator. Hold on for emergency brakes. Just climb on out of here and let's get moving. Whoa, that was close. You could have been in there. Oh, wait, you just were. Ooh, these are the old offices I was talking about before. The humans left these behind when she gassed them with neurotoxin. Because this is an abandoned track, it's no longer connected to the rest of the computer systems. Aegis shouldn't be able to lock us out here. These computers should contain a lot of useful information for us. Alright, time to start hacking into these systems. Let's start guessing passwords. Password. Admin? Oh, come on. Let me in. Were these passwords generated by super geniuses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? What? All these passwords are usually the same. 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, for crying out loud. I didn't even get a warning siren this time. This thing must be laughing at me now. I know these aren't sentient, but still. Black Mesa sucks. Seriously? Hold on. I think I just got locked out. I'm getting something that says contact administrator for additional support. What? Administrator? There's no one left in the facility. All we have left are cores. There's no way I just failed hacking this thing. I hacked Aegis and hacked the nanobots to keep my testing track alive, but somehow I can't hack something as simple as a few computers in a big room. Oh, I think it's the plants. It must be the plants that are interfering with my Wi-Fi or something. You know what? If I stare at it long enough, my Wi-Fi nodes will override something. Maybe. I'll give it a shot. Did you just override the admin controls? Anyway, I think there's some info here about Aegis. I'll keep working, long as you keep going. So, get back to the testing track and get started. Oh, I should also let you know, I won't be able to move around much. Management trails are kinda non-existent here, unless I wanna fall off another one and end up back in the junkyard. You won't be seeing much of me right now. Alright, there is a lot of information stored in these computers. It'll take me some time to sort through these and come up with a plan so we can get rid of Aegis. According to the systems, the toxic goo is still rising. You should continue to move through the tests and upwards. Keep your feet dry. I sorted through some of the stuff. So many cat pictures. But I also got some more serious information. Aegis thinks we killed the scientists, so it's activating some sort of kill order. It's going to flood the enrichment center, probably with all that goo, to eliminate any and all threats. That means you, that means me, and that means whatever that last thing is. So I'd suggest we keep moving.
scanners, recalibrating sensors.
Well, it seems that we won't be able to stay in the minefield test chambers much longer. It seems to be able to adapt to our actions quite well. We need to come up with a plan to take him on, head on. But leave that to me. You can continue solving these tests. have no idea how hard it is to move around here. Anyway, remember those old turrets from all the way at the bottom of the facility? Those guys have no security systems installed. It should be really easy to reprogram them to destroy Aegis instead of humans. If we go down to a turret production line, we might be able to produce friendly turrets. Well done! Test subjects rated that as one of the hardest tests in this track. I heard that it was made by two particularly crude scientists. I'm still sorting through all those files. There's terabytes of emails. I'm trying to find something that can help us. Huh. Did you know you can increase the size of your core in just 2 easy steps? So, apparently, the records on these computers are kinda severely out of date. I think I can recompile a new version of this testing cracks sequence.